Hey gang, it's your GM Drakeen here with another update. So we're going to be talking about the Unearthed Arcana for Artificer. Artificers were notably left out of the Player's Handbook 24, so it's very interesting to see what they are going to do with that. So let's jump into it. So I wanted to give Artificers some love because they were left out of the Player's Handbook 24. And a lot of the stuff they cover in the Unearthed Arcana, I'll let you take a look at it yourself, is for higher level artificers. Okay, so and their spells and the like are sort of staggered. Like you don't get second level spells as an artificer till you're level 5, third level spells at level 9, fourth level at level 13, and fifth level you won't see until level 17. So I wanted to have some lower level content that artificers can use in my games, give them some new things, maybe some add some new spells to their spell list so they have a few more options in my games. And this is what I came up with. So these are the notes from the Unearthed Arcana. They're adding a few more spells here, and most of you guys should probably be familiar with these by now. Elementalism, which is like a wizard version of Druidcraft. True Strike, which has been upgraded quite a bit, Arcane Vigor, Dragon's Breath. And now, Homunculus Servant is a new spell in the article. You can read about that yourself, so it doesn't exist. Unfortunately, I cannot use Unearthed Arcana in my games. I only used material from published books, simply because it's by very definition playtest material, and as a DM, you really want consistency for your games, in my opinion. So using Arcana, I would be updating my games like, I don't know, every other week or every other month, every time they printed something. So that is, it's just who has time for that, right? So moving right along, one of the things they did update on one of the archetypes for Artificer is Alchemist. They added this little spell, Vitrolic Sphere. That used to be Blight. It's just noted that none of the other spells lists change, but that's a change. But again, you don't get fourth level spells until level 13. I think our current Artificer is level 7 in one of my games. So I wanted some new spells to add. So I went to Deep Magic, of course, because if you've seen it in my videos, you know I love Deep Magic. Some of these spells you're going to recognize, but some of these spells are not on the Artificer list. Fog Cloud is not on the Artificer spell list. Gaseous Form is not on the spell list. Stinking Cloud is not on the Artificer spell list. Now, it's noteworthy that I don't believe Artificer is open source. The other classes you can kind of write content about them, but I don't think you can write about Artificer unless you have special permission to do so. So you won't find any Deep Magic content really written about Artificer, I believe, for that reason. Correct me if I'm wrong. But this, in Deep Magic, they have different schools of spells and stuff like so. Alchemancy sounded similar to Artificer to me, so I thought, hey, let's try and include some of this content for Artificer because it's new, it's interesting, it would add a dimension to my game that may not exist in other games. So I wanted to add some of these spells. Now, jumping right in here again, I'm going to be adding Fog Cloud, Gaseous Form, and Stinking Cloud. This is directly from the Alchemancy list, so I'll be adding that to the Artificer spell list. These are some of the ones, and there's one more, a few more that are I'll talk about in this video that I'm going to also add to the Artificer spell list. Some of these I've covered in other videos, but let's jump into it. So first is Brimstone Infusion. It's a cantrip. This allows you, as a cantrip, to make essentially Alchemist Doom. You can see the actual text from Deep Magic on the right. Alchemist Doom, it's very useful. It lasts for 24 hours, and you can read about the effects here. It does a little more damage than Alchemist Fire. So that's Brimstone Infusion. This I pulled from a third-party source, which was discontinued, and I wanted something. The reason I decided to pull this in from a third-party source is I'm running Out of the Abyss, and I wanted something for the Drow Priestesses, like a poison cantrip they could use at range, and I thought this sort of fit the bill. Poison spray really is, the range is very short. Some of the other ones, this one also scales pretty well, so does piercing and poison damage. It's a pretty strong cantrip, in my opinion. Um, so this we're starting to get into now. There really isn't any first level spells that are kind of new added to your spell list as an artificer in my game, but this is a strong one. Boiling oil does fire damage unless you got to make a dexterity save, and to get out of the area, it's difficult terrain. If you slip, you fall prone. That uses half your movement, so your chances are you're going to probably be taking more damage. This is a nasty spell. Um, so that's boiling oil. Delay potion, it's just what it sounds like. It's a little more situational. You can delay the effects of a potion so that, it takes effect later. Um, and yeah, that's about enough to be said about that. This is a fun one, Mechanic Croak. So this one, you're dealing acid and thunder damage as you croak, I guess. You have to make a dexterity saving throw to take half damage. If you fail your dex save, you have to make a con save, and if you fail your con save, you're stunned and poisoned until the start of your next turn. So this is a fun one. So and this is a second level spell, and it's a cone, 15-foot cone effect. So you just belch at them. That's kind of fun. And then this one is a slightly higher level, so third level spell. You won't see this till level 9, but it's really cool. This is a really fun spell. It's 120-foot range, and it's a little unusual. You have to make a strength saving throw or be restrained. This is I kind of saw this as like a something that the drow priestesses might use to capture someone who's fleeing or a captive or a slave or something, or they could use it on people they're holding captive. Also has another use that one of the wizards in my game is using to repair their canoe that got damaged in Tomb of Annihilation uh, as universal solvent. So it's got another use as well. So it's kind of a very cool spell. Glee Gobble. I like the name. It's a very cool name. And then spell, it's interesting, but it's like a weapon spell. And a lot of the weapon spells or the smite spells or whatever are usually bonus action spells, but in this case, in Deep Magic, it's an action spell. So I think this would be useful if you cast it ahead of a time, like if you knew a fight was about to happen when you entered a room, you would cast this beforehand. But I think during a fight, if you just cast the spell and it was just, a sword, you'd have to wait till your next turn to actually use the sword. I don't think it's as useful for that reason. So if you do hit them with it and they do fail their con save, they are stunned though. So in addition to the damage, so that's pretty nasty. It's a stun spell. Yeah, so that is I think when I would go over the higher level spells, but again, you're not seeing fourth level spells to level 13. And I think for most games, and most of the stuff in the article you'll see also is addressing higher level artificers. So I didn't feel like that I wanted to go too much into the higher level content. You can read it for yourself because I haven't really seen a lot of high level artificers around, to be honest. Not that it can't happen, but I thought cross that bridge when we get there, right? So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Um, and again, these are my games. Hope to see you at the gaming table. Take care.